We continue with reaction following the passing of South Africa's first democratically elected Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Frene Ginwala. I'm now joined by the current Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. Ma'am, appreciate your time this afternoon. Very, very sad times indeed for us. Your immediate reaction to the untimely passing of Dr. Ginwala.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it is a very sad day for South Africa. And I would like to start by passing our sincere condolences to the family of Comrade Frene, but also to the entire African National Congress, to whom she was a member for many years, but also to all South Africans who have known her as one of our iconic leaders in the Republic of South Africa and the first Speaker of a democratic South Africa.
Now, looking at the message that's come through from Parliament, one of the descriptors says one of the preeminent midwives to our constitutional democracy. And that's an incredible way to describe the work that she did.
It is very true. We recall that Comrade Frene was in 1994, right at the beginning, she became member of Parliament. And therefore, she indeed was one of those midwives who developed the constitution that we are now living for, that we sworn our allegiance to. She is one of those who drafted the initial laws which were needed and required in South Africa in order to reverse the debt and all of the things which were done by the apartheid system. She's one of those who ensured that not only do we have a constitution of the Republic of South Africa, but we actually have a Bill of Rights. She was a fighter for women's rights. She was a fighter for human rights. She was an amazing human being who dedicated her entire life to the liberation of the people of struggle of the people of South Africa. And I think for many of us, the least we can do for now, yes, it is to grieve, but celebrate her life. And one way of celebrating Comrade Frene's life would be for us to go back to Parliament and continue to do the work she did so well. Continue to pass legislation that will unshackle our people from the chains of apartheid. Continue to pass laws that will better the lives of the people of South Africa. So for me, I think it is indeed a sad day, but let us all remember, today we are where we are, and I want to say particularly women of this country, because Comrade Frene in 1991, at a conference, the first conference of the African National Congress in South Africa, Comrade Frene is one of those women who took the floor to demand that the African National Congress allows for a quota of women to be elected in its leadership. But not only that, first time I met her was in 1985. It was Nairobi in Kenya, where there was a women's conference which was organized by the UN. So Comrade Frene was always on the side of justice. She hated injustice. She stood for truth to the last, and Comrade Frene would unflinchingly support anything that seeks to push people of South Africa forward in order for them to have better lives.
Now, one of the things that she was frustrated with the slow movement of the things that she and many other struggle stalwarts fought for. What do you think you can do as a speaker to push some of those agendas a lot quicker than they're currently moving? One of the things that she fought for was that
one of the things which I can say, one of the things which I would want to say about Comrade Frene is that obviously a lot of work has been done. Of course, we have not gone far enough. But one of the things which happened is that we have a report which has been sitting there which is called the Cadre Arsenal Report, which amongst others was looking at reviewing some of the Chapter 9 institutions, their role, and how they can best play the role which is assigned to them by the Constitution of the Republic. And for me, I think I would want to go back to Parliament and urge all political parties, because as I talk as a speaker, but I should also remember that Comrade Frene actually earned the respect of all members of Parliament. She was not a speaker of the African National Congress. Yes, she was deployed by the African National Congress, but Comrade Frene was a speaker of Parliament, of the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. And as I say, she had enormous integrity. And she had integrity, and she stood for the truth. And even in Parliament itself, it is its own organization. Comrade Frene would thrash those issues out at the level of the organization in order for her to improve the functioning of Parliament itself. Not only that, but also to ensure that that which she has sacrificed for, that which she fought for, which is democracy, justice, non-sexism, non-racism in South Africa, is realized. And for me, I will forever remember Comrade Frene for that. But also, I do want to really thank those who in the past year organized a 90th birthday celebration for Comrade Frene, which was well attended by a few comrades and few friends. We owe it to them, because at times we forget about once you retire, once you are out of circulation, the tendency is for us as human beings to forget those who have put us where we are, those who have made it possible for South Africa to be a democratic dispensation.
Now, finally, ma'am, in a practical way, how do we practically remember Dr. Frene Ginwala going forward? What can be done, certainly by your office, do you think?
It's exactly what I've just said, that all that is required is to make sure that all of the work which Comrade Frene started should be realized. All of the pieces of legislation which were meant to repeal the legislation which was there, which shattered South Africans under apartheid, should be reversed. And of course, one of those critical issues I would like us to remember Comrade Frene for is that Comrade Frene had absolute integrity. Comrade Frene was truthful, and therefore we too, we have a challenge. We have to be truthful to what we have been taught by both the African National Congress and by the democratic South Africa itself, because we are a developing nation. We grow every day. Sometimes you may think that you know everything, but you realize every day that there is something new you learn. And the likes of Comrade Frene are the icons. I believe we will forever remember them for her writings. By the way, Frene was a prolific writer. And therefore, all of us, we need to go back to some of the writings, have some of her writings, and actually see what it is that we can take and that which we can use in our daily lives, particularly in our politics, in our political environment.
Ma'am, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Current Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula.